Alright. Peace and blessings. Love and light is your brother. OMNI, also known as OMNIS. This is another session of Sunday Soul Sessions. Okay? We're going to have a bill. We're going to talk about a little bit of science, a little bit of history. You know, that's what we do. Scientific and historical literacy. And we're going to get that popping in just a second. But tonight's bill is about inorganic chemistry, all right? Inorganic chemistry, part 2, okay? Western medicine and Western science. Exposed, family, okay? We're going to build about it. So I got the medical, the Nelson's Medical Dictionary 2, just in case I need it. A lot of the stuff I just know right off the top of my head, but if I need it, I can get it. Let's see. Western medicine exposed, family. We understand that people see the world as they see themselves. Okay? People see the world as they see themselves. I get that. You know, I can relate to that. But at the same time, family, we got to understand the omnivision perspective, the holistic perspective, family. Okay? So, we're going to be talking about this inorganic chemistry and the difference between Western and Eastern science. All right? So for everything natural, for everything unnatural, family, we got to understand that there is a natural version, okay? For everything unnatural, there's always a natural version, okay? We have light, lamps, headlights in the car, you know, but we have naturally occurring light in the sky as stars, you feel me? The moon is a night light. We got night lamps in the house. Some people use night lamps. You feel me? We got natural night lamps in the sky, family. So, like I said, for everything natural, for everything unnatural, there's always a natural version. All right. So, we're gonna be talking about inorganic versus organic, natural versus unnatural. Okay? So there's a difference. It's like good and bad or good and evil. There's a difference between these things, family. We need to know this because these things affect you in your everyday life, whether you know it or not. Okay? We have acids, family. Okay? Which is promoted to people of African descent. And just did a build about how melanin is an organic biochemical compound that gives people of African descent the ability to undergo the process of photosynthesis. Okay? So we have a specialized cellular structure and functioning from other genetic groups. Okay? And this is a scientific fact, family. So there's a polarity. All right? So we know that, you know, in America, you know, there's a lot of obesity, okay? There's a lot of sickness in America due to the Western culture, family. All right? Peace and blessings. Everybody that's in the building, just trying to, you know, give y'all a little time to get in the building so we can build. All right? P. James Powell, Ashi. Yeah, so in the Western culture, there's a lot of disease, family. There's a lot of sickness. I got people, my grandmother is actually ill, going through a hard time right now. And it's affecting her, it's affecting me, you know, all of the people that I love, you know, and all of the people that love her. And there's other people that's being affected by Western medicine and Western culture. Okay, family? This is a toxic way of life. Okay, toxins are contaminants, pollutants. Okay, things that take away and denature the quality of things. All right. So we gotta understand that Western culture is something that we adopted through colonialism, through slavery. All right, and historically, we're different people, and we should have. It's okay if we have, a different way of life. But anyway, so to get into the Bill family, like I said, it's common in America that there's a lot of obesity, okay, a lot of cancer, all right, a lot of high blood pressure in the black community, all right. And why are blacks affected more than other genetic groups? I'll tell you why. Because of inorganic chemistry, family. Inorganic chemistry affects you biochemically, right? Now, just like a car, you have different cars that have different motors, takes different types of oil, okay? Different cars take different octanes of gasoline. You got 93, you got 89, you got 87, okay? Your genes, your genetics function just like there's a design, there's a structure, and it functions a certain way. So we got to understand what it means to be a melanated being, to be of indigenous descent, and how to live natural and, live in our natural right. So a lot of these things that we see on a day-to-day basis are not good. They're toxic. And we got to identify some of these things. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen a slug dissolve, all right? But this is an example of how acid, which is consistent with the RH genetic group, okay? I just did a build about this, about the RH genetic group. They are inherent to antigens because they share Neanderthal ancestry. All individuals of European and Asian descent possess between 10 to 20% Neanderthal DNA. Okay, from having Neanderthal DNA, there's a genetic predisposition that prohibits natural cellular structure and functioning, family. Okay, that's why people get sunburn. That's why people get have vitamin D deficiencies and things like that. We're not supposed to naturally have those types of things, but those come from genetic deficiencies that are inherent to certain genetic groups. So that's why it's important to know your biological identity and your national identity. All right. So, like I said, the slug dissolves, family, from table salt, okay, which contains sodium chloride, right? And what it does is it dehydrates the slug instantly by an acidic chemical reaction, okay, that's deteriorating the bodily tissues, okay? And this is the same thing that happens in humans when we consume acid. The Rh positive blood group, all right, the Rh positive bloodline are individuals who are inherent to antigens, okay? Like I said, they have ancestral ties to Neanderthals, okay? And they are inherent to genetic modification. The genetic modification is the reason for their inability to process sunlight, okay, to acquire vitamin D through the sunlight, through photosynthesis, okay? So there's certain things that we can identify and associate with certain genetic groups and certain traits, okay? So acid is consistent with the Rh positive blood group because they have antigens and they're genetically modified, meaning the chemistry is not organic, but it's inorganic because it's genetically modified, all right? So individuals who are Rh negative should have a more alkaline-based diet. Now, Dr. Sebi, which was he was a herbalist, all right, a naturalist, and he dealt with the studies of plants and herbs and what the plants and herbs do. And he healed a lot of people, okay? But he teaches that the main thing that we need to do as melanated people is to stay away from lactose, all right, which is a form of antigen, which is a RH positive food source. Meat, which is also a RH positive food source because it contains animal protein, all right? And so starch, meat, and dairy. And dairy is also an animal protein food source for RH positives, considering that they contain animal DNA, all right? So this is not racism, this is just science, family. We're trying to understand the genetic study and the difference between a RH negative and a RH positive. Like I said, DNA are biological ingredients to producing a certain result, okay? To producing a certain result. So just like when you go buy something from the store and you got your ingredients on the bag, you go buy the ingredients and you get the exact result that you get on the, okay? It works just like that. That's how genes work. The encryptions of code that translate to certain physical traits and characteristics and behavior and, you know, things of that sort. Okay? So acid, like I said, dissolves metals, okay? It deteriorates the bodily tissues, okay? And it's only consistent with the RH positive blood group. Now, my thing with understanding, you know, the way that Western medicine operates based on acid, I see in the genetic study that that could be a protein food source for certain individuals, but then we also see that it could be harmful to other individuals who don't share the same biology or biochemistry, okay? So we want to stay away from acids. We want to stay away from dairy. We want to stay away from starches, okay? And we want to stay away from meat because they are all animal protein food sources, family. And this will compromise your cellular structure and function and lead to sickness and disease. So this is just something that we want to try to stay away from. Now, we know that in the body, there are 4 primary types of cells. There's red blood cells, there's white blood cells, there's blood platelets, and blood plasma, okay? Your red blood cells are the most important cells in the body, right? And they are the most abundant by ratio, all right? I think it says right here by merkelmanuals.com that white blood cells, also called leukocytes, are fewer in number than red blood cells, with a ratio of 1 white blood cell to every 600 to 700 red blood cells, okay? So the white blood cells are far less consistent than the red ones. The red ones are much more important. Now, if you had to sacrifice one, you might want to sacrifice the white over the red because the red is more abundant, all right? And they serve a more important purpose, an important role in the body, all right? So you got your colored cells and you have your non-colored cells. So we find out that cells are microorganisms that condense into bodily tissues, all right? So you got your white cells and your blood cells. So the white blood cells, okay, are antigens, all right? They're not normal, they're abnormal cells that are not electromagnetic, okay? The red blood cells are electromagnetic and they're good for absorbing sunlight. That's why black people, we have a higher RBC count and we're more conductive to photosynthesis and absorbing sunlight because of that reason. Now, the red blood cells are composed of iron and oxygen, which is iron oxide, okay? So the metallic property is a magnetic gravitational effect that is a conduit of electricity. So that's one of the reasons why we can absorb sunlight. We have a higher RBC count, and those are red cells that translate into dark pigmented tissues. So the cells are the prior stage of forming bodily tissues, all right? Cells, which are composed of elements condensed into bodily tissues, family. All right? So we look black because we have a high concentration of dark pigmented cells. All right? Individuals who are white, they look white because they have a high concentration of white non-pigmented cells. All right? Peace and blessings. Ashi, Tyrone, that's the fam in the building. Yeah, they got a higher concentration, family, of non-pigmented cells, so they appear to look white. It's really a simple science, family. The cells are composed of chemicals. That's why we have biochemistry that translate into the bodily tissues. All right? So we can tell what type of cells you got by how you look. If you look black, you got a lot of dark cells. If you look white, you got a lot of white cells. All right? So these cells determine whether acid or alkalinity would be an appropriate or a conducive food source, okay? So your cells is composed of a certain chemistry, and those chemicals translate into our phenotypical traits, family, all right? So it's very common that in Western health and, you know, in Western science that they teach carbohydrates, right, is a starch, all right? Think about it. Carbohydrates being a starch. A starch is things that is a chemical substance, an acidic chemical substance that occurs from like macaroni, potatoes, certain grains and stuff like that. But it's not an organic substance, family. It's something that's acidic, okay, and it's not good for all genetic groups, okay. Now we see that so I would suggest sea moss. So I got sea moss sitting up here, family. I got Sorrel sea moss right here. It's from Jamaica. So you got the Sorrel sea moss. So Sorrel mixed with Irish sea moss. So the Sorrel plant mixed with Irish sea moss. And then this one right here is just the straight up sea moss joint. You know what I'm saying? It's Irish straight up. It ain't got nothing added to it. But it's good because it's a good source of hydrogen and oxygen. And it's carbonic as well. And this one right here is sea moss mixed with moringa. So that's pretty good. I like that one too. But I drink it every day. It's good for your blood plasma. The ocean is actually one of the largest sources, family, of H2O. All right. So when you want to get hydrated, okay, sea moss is a really good plant because it provides you with an abundant source of hydrogen and oxygen, okay? And the ocean is about 70 to 75% of the Earth's surface. So it accounts for a large part of the planet, family. So, it's common sense that the ocean would be a very good source to hydrate your body and to oxygenate your cells. You feel me? All right? Jane Middle, peace and blessings. Ashe, family. Thank y'all for rocking with me, for tuning in. We just building about a little bit of chemistry, this Western culture, and how their science is just a little politically biased, family. That's what I see. All right? But anyway, once we learn better, we do better. So like I said, I got the sea moss on deck. You feel me? And we know health is wealth, family. Health is wealth. Like I said, man, I question everything now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm on my conscious journey. I've been studying for over 5 years now. I started out, you know what I'm saying, like listening to brothers like Dr. Umar, The whole Tyreek Nasheed, Hidden Colors and all that. You know, and that stuff kind of opened my mind up to just asking a lot of more questions. And I began to get into the historical piece, and you know, now I'm into the scientific aspect of things to understand the mechanics of things and the way that things work and function. And so that's my way of you know, filling in the blanks and making sure that I'm aware of who I am and you know, and what I need to do, family. You feel me? So I'm using a series of studies, you know what I'm saying, such as I have experience in electromagnetics, physics, biology. I was studying all that stuff, family. Immunology, you know, the study of the immune system, like I said, study of the blood. You feel me? And you know, anything that's dealing with nature and science. Anything dealing with nature and science, family. McKeezy, peace and blessings. I assure you, family. Love and light to everybody that's in the building rocking with me. Just talking about a little bit of inorganic chemistry, this Western culture, and what can we do as melanated people to come about it, you know, with a better approach, so we can filter through what's good and what's bad. Because everything ain't good, family. Everything that somebody tell you ain't right. So I suggest questioning and researching. That's what I do. So I'm an independent researcher. All right, and that's what I love to do. So let me see. Where did we stop at? So sugars, family. When we're educated in school about sugar, and individuals tell you that all sugar is generally the same. Like, you gotta understand that plant sugar is not the same as sugar that you would get from like cane sugar, or sugar that you would get from eating bread, or sugar that you would get from, like, you know, from different sources, family. So anyway, the difference between it is you have acidic sugars, and then you have plant-based sugars, which are alkaline because they have stored electromagnetic energy from the chlorophyll, which is a photosynthetic receptor of light, and it stores energy from the sun, and that's how we're provided with the minerals and the nutrients, family. Okay? So I just wanted y'all to understand that when they talk about sugars, don't let them generalize sugar, because all sugar is not the same. It's based on the amount of stored electromagnetic energy a substance or object has. Okay? So brown sugar is bad because it's a genetically modified substance. Cane sugar is bad because it's a genetically modified substance. Okay? And at the same time, there's organic sources. Salt is supposed to be a good thing, but sea salt is bad. But sea salt is good. So you have one that's alkaline, you have one that's acidic. One that's acidic, one that's alkaline. So all salts are not good. I like the pink Himalayan. I use that a lot. It's supposed to be native to the Mediterranean Sea, all right? And that's near the equator, near like Pakistan. So that's actually in Africa. And that salt is electrically ionized, okay? Because it's like intense radiation down there in that environment. And I actually like it a lot. It doesn't dehydrate me like the table salt. You feel me? It makes you feel different. So you can tell it's a different effect. Glucose is a biochemical substance, right, that produces insulin, all right? And it's something that occurs in Rh positive blood groups because they're genetically modified, and their DNA produces glucose and insulin, all right? Not only does it happen in Rh positive blood groups, but also in all hybridized plants, all right? All hybridized plants produce glucose and insulin. So when you look it up and they talk about glucose, they say that it's something that derives from plants, but it doesn't derive from all plants, just the genetically modified ones. All right? So glucose is a genetically modified biochemical substance, family. And we don't need it, but once we eat it for so long, we interact with it for so long, you can compromise your body, your cell structure, your functioning, and now you get dependent on the glucose, but it's nothing that's needed naturally. We really need to try to stay away from it, as far away from it as possible. And then dehydration is something that typically happens in Western medicine and Western science, okay? I noticed that sodium chloride is something that's a common additive in bottled water, okay? I was in the store the other day and I just looked at a few different brands of bottled water, and I noticed that it was several brands that had sodium chloride. Just so happens that sodium chloride is the same chemical substance that's in table salt that actually dehydrates the slug, okay? So slugs are dehydrated by the same chemical that's an additive in bottled water, all right? We go to water to be hydrated, but when we go to the water to hydrate ourselves, we're being dehydrated by these genetic scientists, okay? By these chemical scientists, these chemists. And this is something that you want to keep an eye out for, family. I would prefer spring water, all right? That's coming from rock sediments, naturally coming from nature. You don't want no reverse osmosis. You don't want no man-made chemical processing. You want as least chemical processing as possible. So that's just my little 2 cents on that. So, like I said, seawater is the #1 oxygen source on the planet, all right, after atmospheric gas oxygen, okay? And the blood cells have to be oxygenated because, like I said, oxygen is a fuel source. Oxygen is a fuel source, family. Bacteria actually thrives in deoxygenated environments. So if someone was sick, like if you deoxygenate yourself while you're already in the ill condition, that could like progress the condition because you're helping those bad cells, those negative cells. You want to feed the good ones and starve the bad ones. That's the whole concept. So atmospheric iron oxide is red, family. The Red Sea contains iron oxide, right? Near the Mediterranean, the Red Sea. The Earth's core contains iron oxide. And just, the human blood contains iron oxide. That's why it's red. So the chemical composition. And if I actually have pictures too in my phone and pictures in different posts that I've made showing an example of different blood types and how every type has its own chemical, biochemical difference. Like the blood looks different. You have darker, you have lighter, 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 lighter. You know what I'm saying? That's based on the blood typing because, like I said, your blood is biochemistry. So you have different chemicals present that results in a different physical appearance. And so that's one thing that caught my attention too. The blood looks different, family. Not only is it a different type, it looks different. So yeah, man. Just give me 1 second. in the church family, I come to find that, like I said, between two genetic groups, all right, you got two genetic groups. You got RH negative and the RH positive. When it comes to normal genetics and abnormal genetics, which are mutant genetics, okay, there's a different way that you must approach life, family. Okay, everybody is not the same. There will be, I know maybe it makes other people feel some type of way, but everybody is not the same scientifically, family. And so the way that you are made determines the way that you must function. All right. Now, matter and all physical material is either neutralized or ionic. All right, meaning electrically charged, stabilized, or negatively charged. All right. Why do I say this? Because, like I said, acid is something that occurs in nature in decomposition. All right. So people who are living shouldn't be going around consuming acid, considering that in nature, acid is only found during death and decomposition. It's a biochemical process that's created to break down tissues, all right? That's what decomposition is. It's the deterioration and the breaking down process of matter, all right? This is the only time that acid occurs naturally. So it's ironic that in Western culture, acid is promoted, mainstream, and it's really weird because acid is meant to break down matter. So when you consume an acidic substance, it's going to break down your tissues. It's going to deteriorate the cell structure, all right? And then it's going to compromise the whole functionality, family. So matter, natural matter, is supposed to be electrically ionized. If it's not ionized, then it's been neutralized by a scientist, okay? So organic matter, which is ionic, right, should be electrically charged, all right? And organic matter is just higher vibrational matter. You can look at it like that. It's electrically charged because it's actually vibrating, all right? So the faster that matter vibrates, okay, the higher its vibrational frequency, all right? When matter is neutralized, they're actually lowering the frequency. So when the frequency is lowered and the matter is neutralized, it becomes acidic. When it becomes acidic, it deteriorates your biological tissues, family, all right? So that's how that works. Acidity is only supposed to occur in nature during death and decomposition. That's it. That's the only time it's supposed to happen. So there's no need to consume acid, all right, and expect life. There's no need to consume acid and expect life, family, because it's made to deteriorate during the process of decomposition and death, family. All right, so these individuals who may be conducive to these substances, all right, maybe that's why, that scientists took the time and the energy to make and study these things, okay? Maybe it was some benefit to them, but not to people of African descent, family. Inorganic chemistry is harmful and toxic to melanin. Like I said, melanin is an organic biochemical pigment found in humans, animals, and plants. All right, it's people of African descent in higher concentrations than any other genetic group. All right, so we are more organic, okay, than some other genetic groups, family. And that's not to take shots at anybody, but it's just based on the science of genetics. Nothing personal. So anyway, Unnatural 360 Degrees LLC. Be sure to hit www.cashapp.com, all capital OMNIS NATURA 360 LLC, and like I said, support the cause, the movement, black education, independent research. Hopefully, it's something that I've said tonight that has been beneficial to someone. Like I said, I try to take my time and my energy to research information and build with other brothers and sisters in the black community who want to be informed, who want to be aware, and who want to just take the chance to strive and do more and be active in the revolution family. Be active in the liberation of your people, and yeah, that's what it's about, family. So in any way that you do that, just do that and to the fullest, and that's what it's about, family. So I educate, I like information, and I'm here to bring the information to the people. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I'll be coming back to you guys on Wednesday during the Wake Up Wednesday session, okay? I don't know what the next topic is, but I'll be getting back to you guys and letting you know what it's going to be, all right? Again, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for chiming in. If you guys have any questions or anything to add to the bill, feel free to do that. I'm actually, like I said, taking my time and energy to be of benefit to my community and my people. And so hopefully this has been something that you can take from and that's been some type of benefit to you guys, all right? So I thank you for your time and your energy. Love and light. Ashe, 360 degrees. I'll be getting back to you guys on Wednesday. Love and light. Peace.